addresses one of the most pressing challenges of our time. How can we, as researchers, designers, and innovators, create solutions that both enrich society and protect our planet? The fashion and textile industries are central to this discussion due to their profound environmental and social impact. While they have faced significant challenges in recent years, they also present remarkable opportunities for transformation. Society 5.0 offers a compelling vision of a future where technology, through artificial intelligence, circular economies, and sustainable materials, drives meaningful change. For fashion, this means rethinking every stage of the process from material sourcing and production to responsible consumption and disposal. In this context, it is essential that we continue to explore innovative ways to integrate sustainability into fashion and all other processes. This conference is an exceptional opportunity for us to explore how these principles can be applied in the fashion and textile sectors. It provides an exceptional platform to exchange ideas, share research, and collaborate across borders. Thank you for all being here. I wish you a fruitful and inspiring conference, and I look forward to the exciting discussion.
My dear friends, colleagues, new friends, usually I never have a speech that I read upon, but that only makes me forget things. So I'm going to make an exception and read now and then something. First of all, I just want to thank you really from bottom of my heart from coming all across the globe to our 8th international conference. In 2009, when we had our first, which was designed by my dear friend Petra Bevek, we never dreamed that this international conference could actually become so big. And it's a really pleasure to host you and actually be in a position to have 2 parallel discussions. So in this small classroom, we are hosting on the theme of textiles and fashion. And when we were pondering very seriously about the theme, it came almost effortlessly to think about sustainability. And me and my colleagues, we don't take sustainability ever so lightly. We take it seriously also as an institution. With this conference, we want to emphasize that this should not start with a word, that our aim is to seriously think about how we actually are occupied with this relentless consumption without thinking, because if we all think about, just regardless of the clothes, we have 10 times too much clothes, probably too much furniture. We became hoarders of society. And I always tend to think how my grandma used to live, how she used to think. And when I'm in doubt, if I can, I take 2 steps back before purchasing something. This is something I think it's really important, not as a parent that I want to bring to my kids, but I think most of you here who are sitting are educators, scientific people, and we have this amazing and really important role. How and what are we going to teach our pupils? We are not presenting only a theory to our pupils. I think we have this really, really important role to set an example. How we talk, how we behave in everyday situations, how we are dealing with the consumption, with the waste, and how at the end of the day we are treating each other. This is all about sustainability in a broader context. And with this conference, my personal wish is not to be only on the paper and in some fancy presentation. I want us to take a moment to reflect how we live and how we can set an example for my colleague, for our kids, for our friends, for somebody that we are not even aware of, how we are setting an example and how we are actually changing the world. We, as an educators, we have a really, really important role. We are not only writing a curricula every 4 years and changing the content and literature. We are changing how those young people are going to behave. Maybe not in that 1 year, but maybe later in 10 years. And hopefully, someone of us will make such a big impact on our students that when they're going to be thinking 20 years ago, like looking back, they're going to say, oh, you know, this professor really changed my life. And if you change just one way of thinking, this is what it's all about. That's my personal wish to you all, to take something away from this, and maybe in the future to collaborate, find some new colleague, doesn't matter from where, from which culture, to make a new project that it's not going to be, again, in some kind of fancy presentation, in fancy clothes, in fancy building, but it's all about the content, transparency, and making this now also better for our kids, for future generations, to take a step back, to reflect, to talk. It's so very important to stop and to think about our actions. And once again, before I'm going to take a paper, which I'm not, I really want to thank you for bringing your each sound to this conference. Without you, this would not be possible. And I cherish each and every paper that you sent. I cherish each and every presentation and poster. I really want to thank you for taking your time and for choosing our institution to share your really great knowledge and experience. And welcome once again. Whenever you have time for anything, you're always welcome to come at the Faculty of Design, regardless conference or not. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I need to actually moderate this. I forgot it. Okay, for the first time, actually, I'm meeting as well my dear future friend, um, Andrea Rudolf, who is coming from Maribor, which is the second biggest town in Ljubljana, in Slovenia. And she will be sharing her paper with us, who she wrote with other co-authors. I would just like to emphasize that this little thing, it needs to be, by my colleague Doman, he said, you need to be pressed harder and longer in order to move the slides. Okay, I wish you all the best presentation. When Andrea is gonna finish her, I'm gonna introduce the next one. And after all the presentations, we're gonna have a small discussion. If you have something really important, I emphasize for you to write it down so it doesn't evaporate into the sky. Thank you very much. Andrea, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, thank you a lot, the organizers, to invite us to your International Scientific Conference, A.L.I.C.E. So, hello to everybody. Also, take warm greetings from our team. So I will present you today our research, which is regarding the virtuous 3D prototyping for redesign of garments with zero waste principle. So this research was carried out under the A.L.I.C.E project. So A.L.I.C.E project is touching the silk, the heritage of silk in the national and European level. And this research should be with a silk clothing. So we were working with Zaubermacher, which is a company which collects waste clothing but in this period where we should realize this part, so we didn't receive enough clothing, silk one, and we used the men's shirts, the cotton. But anyway, so what is the one of the tasks of our team in the University of Maribor in our chair of textile materials and design? It is one of our tasks is sustainability and redesign of clothing. So I'm clothing engineer, I'm pattern making, I'm teaching this, and always we are trying also to be sustainable, and of course the redesign is one of the approach to be sustainable. But we all know that during this very creative process, a lot of times we are making a lot of waste. And that's why, okay, longer.
Paint there, towards here, in this direction. Longer, harder. It's not.
I'm sorry.
It's working.
It's working. So that's why I will give you just a short introduction into sustainability. I know that all of you are working on this, so I think this introduction is not so necessary. And some integration of the zero waste design principle with virtual prototyping. I will, of course, present you our methodological approach, our results on zero waste, redesign using virtual 3D prototyping, and of course make some conclusions. Pushing. No? Okay. So we all know that among all the industries, the textile industry is one of the biggest one, which makes the pollution and making a lot of waste. So the textile waste we can divide on pre-consumer waste and of course post-consumer waste. So pre-consumer waste is during the production process when we are, let's say, in clothing companies, when we are cutting and sewing of garments. But the used garments are post-consumer waste, and we will working on this post-consumer waste. Something, yeah. So the textile waste from households consists mainly of clothing, and I found the latest data from Statista from 2024 that from the textile waste increased from 2016 to 2022. Actually, we are in 2024, but at that time it's reaching about 900,000 tons of textile waste. So probably, I hope that it is less because of sustainability, I don't know. But anyway, Malini with other researchers found that consumers threw away on average of 60% of their clothes in the first year of use, which is quite surprising. And there are all of the listed research reasons why this happening in the world. Let's say that they are quite good. All of the reasons listed. So it is, you can go further. Yes, when we are combining together, when we are working on sustainability, we know that there are a lot of dimensions which could be combined, the social, the economical, environmental dimensions. But when we are dealing with fashion and sustainability, we need also to think, as we heard before, that this is a very complex approach, because we need to make rethinking on the consumption practices a lot. And actually today in these bags we received also one of the sustainable products. And yes, immediately I'm looking for on the label, and I see all of notes regarding the sustainability. So what is enough? Is this enough today? I don't know. It is not, because when we are in a digital transformation. We are working on a digital development. It is revolutionized. They are working, the media and all of us, they are pushing us, let's say the clothing companies. We are sustainable. Yes, we are making a sustainable way. We are making the ways to sustainable. But all of time, I'm thinking this is not enough, because the shops are full, there are full of garments from the bad materials, so we need to change it. All the collections are changing the same, very fast, very, very fast. We can go further. And there you could see the old from, I think that this is from 2016, when H&M pushed up, we are sustainable, we are using the sustainable recycled materials for our clothing collections, and from one of the exposed many years ago, the dress, which is also made from a recycled material. But yes, of course, this is good. And we can see today now in shops a lot of labels that we are using the recycled materials. Of course, this is very good. Yes, I like this left one when H&M push up this advertisement that they are using also for the sports collection, and of course Adidas, which I think it starts with the ocean plastic to be recycled and using it into the soles of the shoes, and after that in the sport garments. Yes, of course, these are all good approaches. Of course, we need to have a recycled clothing. But when we are talking about redesigning of clothing and sustainability, we also need innovative techniques, innovative materials which minimize the waste, which promote longevity and ensure the ethical production practices. Of course, in all of these sustainable approaches. I think we could go further on the next slide. Yes. And on the left side, there are written the key strategies for sustainable clothing redesign, and among of which are also the zero waste pattern cutting, and we will work on this. We have been carried out this research within the zero waste redesign. So when we are talking about the principles of the sustainability in the development of garments, we could not omit the digital design and the using of virtual 3D prototyping, because when we are making virtual prototypes, we are also minimizing the waste material which is coming from production of making garments before they are going into the production process. So, and that's why we will talk a little bit on the zero waste, which you actually know what it is. That is the process when we are minimizing the waste textile within the cutting and sewing of garments. And I know that these principles all of you know, starting from 2011, there is a winner, Fernando Chen, of the Eco-Chic People's Award, who prepared this cape with very, very easy pattern. Yes, and on the right, there is another principle, because it is much more complex, but from the whole surface of the textile material, it's called the jigsaw puzzle-like pattern. Yes, and In 2020, McQuinlan, which is working a lot on sustainability, on sustainable approaches and practices, a lot, he involved into the zero waste approach, the 3D virtual prototyping, and tried to develop the patterns on the virtual mannequin, and after that make a real physical sewing, real physical garments. So, and now we came to our research. What was the aim? The aim was, if we can use virtual prototyping for a redesign of garments with a zero waste approach. As I say, our creativity, I don't know, but in our labs is making a creative noise a lot of times. And that's why we are making again waste. So this is not our contribution to be sustainable. Yes, and this was our approach, and we used the men shirts. Most of them was with a long shirt, the regular shirts with long and short sleeves. And that's why we prepared for this research. They are quite a bit in different sizes. But anyway, we need to validate somehow what we are making with this zero waste redesign. That's why we prepare the two shirts with the long and short sleeves for size 50. And after that, of course, always designers, because designers was involved, they are making the creative ideas, conceptual ideas, how to combine in each three models, in each model, two of shirts to be a little bit colored. And they are thinking during this how to use the whole textile material from the whole shirt. And our approach was that we were used the virtual prototyping, so we were like in real cutting and sewing and testing what is good, what is not good, try to follow the conceptual ideas. And finally, we say, yes, of course, this is this. And take these patterns for making a real models. So on the left side, you could read the real sewn models, which we prepared digitally. And when we are comparing, so I could say that they are not quite the same, but they are. That with a virtual prototyping, we developed a redesigned garments quite well. And we minimize the waste. Of course, there's need to be some appearance, what we need, and some small amount of textile waste. We have it at the end, but anyway, the process, the prototyping process was quite good. But when we are combining the first two prototypes and the real garments, we could see that they are quite good. So of course we can use it in different ways. The front of the second model is inside of the belt and so on. And on the back, we forgot to color it. Those sleeves for tightening, and yes, there are some differences with the sleeves. But we are using for the virtual 3D prototyping OptiText software. And this was made the last year when we had the old version. And the old version could not stimulate the folds. That's why our folds only gathered, and we could see the folds in this skirt. So, anyway, the final validation, as I said, we make in one size these shirts. we could see that for the first model, we used short and long sleeve shirt, and for the other two models, we used two long sleeve shirts. And there are the surface areas of the redesigned garments, and we can see that our waste from our redesigned garments with virtual prototyping approach is quite small. So that's why we can see that can use, and also we can be creative also with digital tools and try to go with the concept of which we call it 3D zero waste redesign method or principle, that we can are also following the sustainable fashion ways and also offer practical solutions for reducing waste in the redesign process, because we know that some companies that we have today, companies which they are making redesigned garments, and this could be one way and good approach to develop the redesigned garments from textile waste. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrea.
Thank you.
As mentioned, we're going to have open panel session at the end. And I would like to invite now Professor Elizabeth Lorenzi from Madrid to share with us her work, which is called Biomaterials for Electronic Energy Shaping the Future of Smart Renewable Technologies. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thank you everyone to be here. Thank you to the Faculty of Design for the invitation and the hosting to create so vibrant environment, no? Sustainability, collaboration, so on. So I will introduce you in my presentation. I will talk about energy and biomaterials. My presentation is about how to explore the properties, the material electronical properties of the called bioplastics. In order to produce or have the opportunity to think about, to prototype electronic devices that could be biodegradable, edible, and also demountable. Demountable? Yes? Because electronic devices. Okay. Electronic devices are typically made from non-renewable materials, resources, which have a significant environmental impact. I present my research exploring various ways to generate low amounts of energy, electric energy, using organic renewable materials. In way to provide energy from smart technology, electronic textiles. So I think that to bring sustainable perspective to the electronic field is a big opportunity from fashion development. No? So also I'm aims to highlight the possibilities of this new electronic materiality and how designers, artists, creative thinkers can contribute to the development of future technologies. no, because I'm not an engineer, I am artist, fashionist, humanist, no? I am playing with science to develop this material. So the first step was to talk about why I am interested in this development of material, because I come from, my interest is in e-textiles. But I'm thinking about e-textiles that could be biodegradable. I am crashing or putting together the development of the so-called bioplastics, the plastics made from renewable resources, very degradable. Also, it needs low energy, low technology to be developed. No, you can cook them. It's water soluble, no, you can cook it, and to put it together with organic electronics. Is electronics. Think about not metals, to explore the possibility of polymers to develop soft devices. So why to think about bioplastic to develop electronics is because it's the biodegradable compostability, no? Also because it's the development of these materials are very grounded in open access communities, collaborative environments, etc. And also it brings opportunity to bridge the gap among technological domination, the different fields of technological domination. No? Electronic engineering are a male-dominated technological area, and the college biomaterials or fashion, etc., is more female. The presence of female researchers are high. No? So I crushed this. And also, it's a big opportunity to connect the open access and collaborative ways to the development of materials and electronic devices. As it was when I started experimenting with these materials, I started to study about how electricity was discovered, the research, the beginning of the research, and from its beginning, it was very tied to organic responses. No, electricity was something that happened to make muscles and the reaction to the body. It's very tied to the reaction to the body because the Galvani experiments with frog legs, no, it's bring the electricity as a body system way to work. It's very tied to the biology, how to work the biology, no? And that's I put here this picture about Galvani and its wife that developed this vision about the functionality of the body around the electricity at the beginning of the. And that was the.
This is supposed to be the microphone, so maybe just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The sound.
No. It's because the electrolytes, we are a big bag living water salt system, no? That allows the electricity, the function of the life, the electric impulse allows the living, the biological system. No? So I start to think about how to create this, how to approach this with biomaterials. Well, can we produce solid electrolytes to allow electronical functions? So I start to develop this kind of material with agar, jelly, almidones, mixing with salt, mixing with carbon to study its possibility to shape them and make them more conductive. Mixing, doing different ways, and testing its conductivity of this material. Very biodegradable materials. No? And then I also think about how to produce small devices or how to apply it to think of prototyping, electronical devices. And I started to do this battery to try a battery holder, but then I realized that it's made with water, glycerin, salt, and charcoal, this material. And the alginate is made of brown algae. It's extracted from brown algae. And I love very much this material to produce that. But I also use different biomaterials, bioplastics. And then I start, but if I can do, make a battery holder, why not I can do, better to do a battery itself, no? So I start to think about how to do that. And I start with replicate chemical batteries made on gelatin, creating this material that allows the chemical reaction among two materials, two metals, or one metal and carbon, then release, it's like a regular battery is made of anode, cathode, and electrolyte, that allow this redox interaction among two materials. And I did it with gelatin, replicated something that I firstly do with wool, that I will teach tomorrow in the workshop, how to do these batteries. Because the wool contains this high hygroscopic property to absorb many water, allows this process, and the same the gelatin when it is fresh. But then starting to use this the gelatin material, this bioplastic, I start to replicate another kind of devices, because I wanted to allow metals or kind of not organic materials, and I started to replicate the diode-sensitive solar cell that usually is made with glasses, conductive glasses doped with kind of conductive material, but it's not renewable, so I replicated with jelly itself, doing a layering process of different, each layer is doped with different material. One of them is vegetal dye, like raspberry or something like that, and it's create a chemical reaction that produces little amount of energy. I attract the attention of different people in my network, and Jeffrey Warren, an artist from United States, proposed me to do a fanzine to make a tutorial on how to do it, and we published it. And that's attracted the attention of a Polish teacher in sustainable product design. And she decided to replicate this prototype with her student in Poland, in the SPU in Varsovia, in the design school. And they tested this, improved my first prototype, tested different possibilities of layering, and they did amazing visual work, photos and everything, and they exposed its results in different expos. Here there is a video about how it works, the amount of energy, but I think I have no time to put videos. And the last approach, the final approach that I am working on is to go itself, not to replicate solar cells or chemical batteries that firstly is made with non-organic material, but to create a battery that that its starting point is the life itself, the life process itself. So I start to work with biotic batteries that play with the microbiological activity, electrical activity of bacteria or fungus, no? And to catch this activity with a cathode, no? And to produce little amount of energy. I was inspired from mold batteries that catch the energy of the bacterial of the soil, no? And I bring it to the kitchen, to the fermenting, to the biological process, microbiological process in the kitchen, and start to experiment with fermented materials, no? As the sourdough is sourdough is when you do make the bread, no? It's full of microbiological activity, yeast and another bacteria, no? So I try to replicate that with a fresh sourdough, a piece of paper, cathode made with this conductive material that I do, gelatin, charcoal, salt, etc. And I did this prototype that was published in this collective publication about recipes, cooking recipes that changed the world. Just with the pot, global, many artists publish recipes that can change the world. No? It was curated by Victoria Manganello, that is an artist from New York, and it was very interesting to participate with this receipt. This is a video about how to work the battery. But, and also I go to to experiment with more material that I can shape. Now the sourdough is not very easy to shape, but I start to think about how to work with SCOBY, kombucha, you know, the kombucha drink that is made with a symbiotic bacterial and yeast, and it produces in its activity a cellulose layer. It produces a cellulose layer that there is very sustainable fashionists that are working with this layer, with this cellulose layer, this cellulose material. and it's shapeable, and it's cellulose, and it's full of bacterial activity. So I start to try with this, looking for different way to make a battery that can be shaped, can be filled, because the bacterial activity needs humidity. And in collaboration with a lab from Chile, A.L.I.C.E, we develop online or methodological comparison. And I reached to get enough energy to light an LED, and yes, that's. I hope I don't took too much time in my presentation, and that's will be. Then I have some sample of the batteries that I made. They are biodegradable, so they change the shape and transform itself. But if you want to see it,
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. It's always interesting to see like something theoretical and something practical, the cross action of both worlds. Thank you for sharing this experiment and research. It's always interesting to see the whole thing. And now I would like to kindly invite my dear colleague, Chidam. Her paper is called The Future of 3D Printing and 3D Knitting Technologies in Contemporary and Sustainable Food Material Design. Welcome, please.
Afternoon. Thank you for this organization. I'm very pleased to be here, and especially thanks to Almina. Yes. Considering the developments of 3D printing technology to date, it's predicted that in the future, 3D printing technology will replace traditional production to a great extent by providing more opportunities for mass production, especially in the use of 3D printing technologies in footwear industry. 3D printers have an important position in prototyping. 3D technology offers individual customization and allows designers to create highly complex structures. It's therefore widely used in textile and fashion design. Although great progress has been made to make clothes, shoes, and some accessories using 3D technology today, there are still many challenges that need to be addressed. In this sense, comfort is the biggest issue. Due to the limited availability of raw materials, it's very difficult to achieve pore structures and air permeability like in traditional textiles. It's therefore desirable to develop new raw materials. Most 3D printed garments are limited to wearable art and haute couture. Testing standards for the performance of 3D textiles are still insufficient. Brands and industry organizations should actually work to educate consumers about the benefits, limitations, and sustainability aspects of this technology. A critical examination of economic, technological, and environmental realities is needed to achieve a balanced view on sustainability and scalability of 3D printed fashion. Collaboration between designers, material scientists, and environmental researchers is crucial to drive sustainable practice. Responsible use of 3D printing can transform the fashion industry by responding to customers' demands for personalization and instant access, while reducing its environmental footprint. Yes, examples of 3D knitting and 3D printing in sustainable shoe designs. Yes, thank you, Lisa. Neri Oxman has succeeded in designing a 3D printed shoe for sustainable fashion that's 100% biodegradable by combining biomaterials with sustainable design principles. Oxman is redefining the possibilities for eco-friendly wearables. Amolase fully recyclable bio-knit training shoes are produced using a 3D knitting process that allows different material properties to be achieved on a single surface. The flat knitted material is sewn into 3D printed soles. Yes. Stephen Mayfield, a professor of molecular biology at University of California, San Diego, has a major stake in the footwear industry. His partners, Michael Burkhardt and Robert Pomeroy from the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. After 6 years of research and experimentation, these professors have succeeded in launching the world's first biodegradable shoe through the company Blueview, of which Mayfield is also CEO. But started as a project to turn algae into fuel-led to the development of high-performance biodegradable polyurethane foams used as shoe soles. They have also developed a 3D knitted sneakers upper made entirely from plant fibers, creating a 100% biodegradable shoes. When the shoes outlive their usefulness, the polyurethane soles known as solaic foam, together with the knitted uppers, are fully biodegradable in compost bins or even in soil or the ocean. These experimental studies are a major improvement over rubber soles that remain underground for centuries. The team is also developing algae-based slippers. At the peak of the career, which began in automotive design, Philip Paulson realized the untapped potential in recyclable 3D printed shoes and it conducted many experimental studies. And these are some examples: 3D printed shoes and 3D printing in shoe design. The brand VA Plus uses 3D printing to ensure the proper growth of children's feet. Young people and children need shoes that not only fit and are comfortable, but that can also help their feet grow properly and avoid potential health problems later in the life. Such shoes are often labeled therapeutic and have expensive price tags. However, Behavior Plus wants to make such shoes more accessible and easier to produce thanks to 3D printing. And some examples. For everyone who wants to get into knitted shoe trend, it's a matter of buying rectangles of knitted fabric, regardless of the machine they are knitted and on flat or circular. Die cutting the 2D fabric, sending the cut pieces to a shoe factory and sending 60% of remaining material from the rectangle to the landfill in the end isn't possible to get an ergonomic mold with 2D fabric. Deniz cars. Çok teşekkür ederim. Evet, Evet, yes. The public then needs a lot of extra support in the form of polyurethane, foam, felt, and lining. Adding all the other components don't have the same fiber content means that the shoe end up in landfills instead of being recycled. Because factories are taught by machine manufacturers to make 2D knitted rectangles in cut and paste modus, this is the easiest way for them to produce a significant quantity of product in the shortest possible time. In 3D knitted shoe manufacturing, there is no cutting process, there is minimal saving and waste, and therefore production is much more efficient. And some examples, yeah. 3D knitted shoes examples. Groundbreaking three-dimensional prototype machines are being developed that can revolutionize the way we think about furniture design. This innovative technique aims to one day produce machines that can knit entire pieces of furniture. This knitting system works by layering the knitted materials much like 3D printing. This method results in a unique combination of strength and flexibility that traditional knitting or 3D printing alone can't achieve. Yes, hand knitted sandals, Carnegie Mellon University. Developed by a team of Robotics Institute at Carnegie Mellon University in US. This prototype was demonstrated at SIGGRAPH 2024 at annual Computer Graphics and Interactive Techniques conference in Denver, Colorado. The machine was able to create dense, tight triangular and rectangular prisms of different lengths using elastic cord as a thread, which must be stretched significantly to form the loops. Unlike other 3D printing methods, which require objects to be melted and refilamented for recycling, the products can be easily unwound and re-knitted. This new system bridges the gap between the two techniques. Objects produced with this technique have an internal structure that allows them to retain their shape but remains much softer and more flexible than traditional 3D printing. This technique thus combines the comfort of knitted materials with the durability of 3D printed objects. The research team of Carnegie Mellon University has indicated that future applications will include a variety of material properties and object types. The ability to create complex customized shapes with different levels of stiffness and flexibility will open new doors in both the furniture and fashion industries. Combining the strengths of traditional knitting and 3D printing, this technique offers a unique blend of comfort, durability, and sustainability. As technology continues to evolve, the possibilities for knitting are endless. From personalized furniture to custom-made garments, the future looks bright for this innovative approach to design and production. This knitting primarily uses elastic cord as the yarn and requires significant stretching to form loops. And knitting block making technique with cord. And knitting block with cord sample. The use of recycled materials with 3D printing method can create a circular system where materials can be continuously reused and recycled. Some important brands in sports shoes have conducted experimental studies with ocean waste, but these initiatives have generally been limited in scope and have not been successful in compensating to the overall environmental impact of the brand. In addition, the life cycle analysis of these recycled materials have not been well documented, as knitting and biomaterial technology advances complex, customized forms with different levels of hardness and flexibility will manage to open new doors in the furniture, shoe, and fashion industries. Yes, that's all. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you very much for giving us this broader insight of the possibilities of the food fair. And I really appreciate the insight. I think we all do. And next presentation is going to be named towards a greener future that we are all aiming for. And I'm kindly inviting Associate Professor Gizem to join me here at the table.
Many thanks for this wonderful organization. It's very pleasure for me to be here with my colleagues from China and Fatih from Turkey. We all welcome you to Deniz Lectures in the southwest of Turkey, near Pamukkale also. It's a very thermal center if you want to come have holiday while we are here with thermal activities. It will be very nice for us to welcome you. So let's start the work. Oh. Sorry for a technical. Yeah. It takes time because of the Wi-Fi. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, my topic is about the sustainability in home textiles and design. We try to study with the college from Uludağ University, Professor Erhan Kenan Çeven, and head of the Department of Research and Development Center, Necla Çeven from Vanilla Textile. We are improving some new projects all together. And this is some part of the introduction about sustainability and also in some recycled methods in home textile. You can change, Deniz, my daughter, you can help me. Yeah. Sustainability, we know, in home textiles has emerged as a crucial aspect of contemporary interior design and manufacturing, driven by growing environmental concerns and the need for responsible resource utilization. These processes can contribute significantly to environmental degradation through the release of pollutions and the depletion of non-renewable resources. Therefore, integrating this sustainable practice into the production and use of home textiles is very essential to mitigate their ecological footprint and promote a more balanced relationship with the environment. One key dimension of sustainability in home textile lies in material innovation. This is very important, we know, because if we develop the material innovation, the new ways for sustainability will also emerge. So the adaptation of eco-friendly fibers such as organic cotton, hemp, bamboo, and recycled polyester plays a very major role in reducing the environmental impact of textile products. You can utilize natural dyes and water-efficient manufacturing techniques. These all can minimize the negative effects associated with the conventional textile production. And also manufacturers, of course, they must always prioritize sustainability, and also they must incorporate circular economy principles by designing products for longevity, reusability, recyclability, thereby reducing waste and fostering resource efficiency. As we know, Sustainability and recycling are very closely interconnected concepts, as recycling plays a vital role in achieving sustainable practice within various industries, including textiles. Sustainability aims to meet present needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own, which requires responsible resource management, waste reduction, and environmental protection. Recycling directly supports sustainability by minimizing waste, conserving raw materials, reducing energy consumption, and lowering carbon emissions. Can change. As we know, during the textile processes, you can apply recycle methods in varying processes. For example, you can recycle from fabric to fiber, from garment to, again, fiber. And even, as we know, from the bottles, we are trying to recycle the polymer and use it as the fiber recycle. And it's a very good story coming from the bottle, as it becomes a polymer that we can use and we can turn into, for example, a garment, a full fashion garment. So this recycle means a lot for sustainability, I think. There are some also sustainable applications in home textile. Textile materials, we know, play a fundamental role in defining both the ambience and functional attributes of interior spaces as integral components of interior design. So this is why the textiles also sometimes connected with interior architecture. We can use textile as interior architecture. So they contribute to texture, chromatic harmony, structural aesthetics, while simultaneously providing both visual appeal and utilitarian performance. Often regarded as the protective barrier of interior environments, fabrics mitigate the photodegradation of colors and slow the deterioration of furniture materials caused by prolonged ultraviolet radiation exposure. Nowadays, maybe you may have heard about it. Some drapery curtains are improved to provide protect from the UV. Which is very important. So they can also utilize for thermal insulators in warm and cool atmospheres. So it's not only textile, it's something that it balances the atmosphere maybe. Often, furthermore, textiles serve as I just said, thermal insulators, reducing convective and conductive heat transfer by limiting heat dissipation during colder seasons and minimizing heat gain in warmer conditions, thereby decreasing reliance on artificial climate control systems. Maybe you may also hear about that, the acoustic performance by absorbing sound waves, thereby reducing ambient noise and optimizing the reverberation of speech and music. This is also possible for textiles. Yes, you can see some examples of home textiles. But what important is for home textile fabrics, these fabrics should exhibit critical performance characteristics, including high light fastness, resistance to seam slippage, peeling, snagging, as well as properties such as stain repellent, flame retardancy, and overall structure durability. While natural fibers like cotton, wool, and linen have been traditional dominant in home textiles, of course they are more dominant, but due to their comfort and breathability, synthetic fibers, particularly polyester, are extensively utilized owing to their superior tensile strength, thermal resistance, and resistance to abrasion, microbial degradation, and insect-related damage. Polyester in particular is a preferred material for applications such as carpets, drapery, constituting a substantial proportion of home textile industry. In terms of fiber utilization, cotton and synthetic fibers represent approximately 38%, 37% respectively of the total fiber consumption in home textile manufacturing. Key aspects of sustainable home textiles include three major points: sustainability in raw materials, sustainability in the supply chain, sustainability in human resources. Additionally, also post-consumer waste should be integrated back into production to ensure a closed-loop system. The core objective of designing a home textile product in line with sustainable principle is to minimize its environmental impact, enhance its performance, extend its lifespan. So in this context, we can say that functionality and quality should take precedence over aesthetics, and resource efficiency should be maximized throughout production processes. Legal regulations and technical feasibility must also be considered. Yeah, of course, we know in the factories, in the research centers, design sustainable production starts from the designing department. So we should also consider this. Maybe we may inspire from the nature. So that is why today's designers are trying to do, I think. Yes. So some sustainable fibers you can use some sustainable fibers in textile. Potential utilization of environmentally responsible fibers such as solar protection fiber, coir, jute, water lily fiber, silk, wool, milk fiber, wood fibers, seaweed fibers, soybean fiber, bamboo fiber, hemp in various home textile products. As evidence and preference for eco-conscious textiles continue to grow, these fibers are expected to play a crucial role in the future of home textile manufacturing. So if you use this kind of fiber, we can turn into, of course, we can convert them into yarn, and at the end, you can provide a full sustainable home product. It may be different product in your home. You can change. Yeah, you know, cotton, wool, and golden natural fibers, which we say coir and jute. Coir is a highly versatile linocellulosic fiber. This is extracted from the mesocarp tissue or husk of coconut fruit. This fiber is also good. Traditionally, it has been utilized in the production of doormats, mattresses, and upholstery products. And curled coir fiber pads are fabricated using needle felting techniques, then shaped and cut for mattress fillings. And a substantial proportion of brown coir pads are treated with rubber latex, which acts as a binding agent, resulting in rubberized coir that's widely used in upholstery padding. And also maybe you have heard about water lily fiber. It also demonstrates potential for application in curtains, upholstery, table runners, and table napkins. And also silk. Mulberry Fletcher silk is not so commonly preferred in home textile. However, Dupion and Matka silks derived from the mulberry variety are highly sought after for furnishing. Matka silk, a hand-spun variety obtained from silk waste, is utilized in both warp and weft to create thicker fabric constructions. Dupion silk is produced through the reeling of double cocoons, and despite its irregularities, it's also valued for the production of novelty fabrics. You can also you can see the production method from water lily fiber to the end. Some process steps you can see in the pictures. And also milk fiber, of course, and also milk fiber. You can see also milk fibers extracted from casein, making toffs and dyed milk toffs, milk yarn, and at the end of the yarn is used in art. And also solar protection fiber is also derived from botanical sources. Solar protection fiber you can provide based on tensile technology. Seaweed fibers, soybean protein fiber. Soybean protein fiber also offers a soft, smooth textile reminiscent of cashmere. It exhibits very good moisture absorption, similar to cotton, but with enhanced ventilation and a superior draping effect. You can see sea-cell fiber there. And also very common bamboo fiber. We know it as it can retain twice as moisture as cotton, while also enhances moisture absorption and ventilation, allowing it. So it is inherently anti-static, reducing electrostatic cooling and providing a comfortable flowing drape also. So it can be very advantageable. It is very advantageable. You can change, my dear. And also polylactic acid, you can see in the literature recently, the utilizing of polylactic acid, because it has many advantages, such as being sourced from renewable origins like cotton, like corn, being biodegradable with the help of the microorganisms in the environment. They can be fully broken down in carbon dioxide and hydrogen, to an oxygen. And as a result of efforts to expand the use of polylactic acid in the textile industry, woven, knitted, and non-woven textile products are produced. Polylactic acids are seen as a viable alternative to traditional petrochemical based polymers commonly used in textiles. And also the regenerated fibers. You can also hear very much about the lyocell fibers, which are produced with a more environmentally friendly procedure from a solution of non-derivative cellulose in a solvent spinning process, where the cellulose is dissolved directly in the organic solvent. You can see the history of the regenerated fibers for lyocell from forest to fiber. And just I will summarize it. I don't tell every detail of the certifications. Also in recently, every kind of the production that we use in textile, as you know, many certifications are required. So we can say the roles of the certifications is also vital in home textile. Which certifications are used in home textile? One of is Global Organic Textile Standard. It is one of the more well-known and recognized standards when it comes to organic products, produced textiles, we can say. You can see some of the name of the certifications goes, Coop Natural Line, Ecotex also. Coop Natural Line Coop, this is a Swiss cooperative and it has its own organic cotton line in cooperation with the company. This is a Swiss trading company. And Ecotex, also they were founded in beginning of 1999 because people started to be aware of the harmful chemicals. And Nordic Ecolabel, this was also founded for consumers to choose products that met strong environmental criteria. You can see 3 of them in one figure. The Nordic Ecolabel, Fair Trade, Cradle to Cradle. Maybe you have heard some of the names of the certifications. Some of are more famous. And Fair Trade, they are the same. And Cradle to Cradle, again, it's founded by William McDonald, who published the book Cradle to Cradle. So it includes 5 categories: material health, material reutilization, renewable energy, and carbon management. There are also 5 different levels you can acquire: basic, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. the certification requires the companies to be transparent. So all these certifications provide the company to be transparent to the consumer. That is why we want from the companies, and I will come to the conclusion now. Also, you can see there is many increase in the certifications as we come to today, from 2014 to today. So the requirement for the certifications has increased. So I will just summarize that sustainable home textiles are crucial for both producers and consumers, offering environmental, economic, and health benefits. For producers, incorporating sustainable practices such as using organic or recycled fibers, eco-friendly dyes, and water-efficient manufacturing reduces resource consumption, lowers production costs over time, and provides brand reputation in an increasingly eco-conscious market. For consumers, sustainable home textiles provide safer and healthier living environments by reducing exposure to harmful chemicals, often found in conventional fabrics. Moreover, durable and biodegradable materials promote a circular economy, reducing textile waste and encouraging responsible consumption. So as awareness grows, the demand for sustainable options continues to rise, driving innovation and fostering a more environmentally responsible textile industry. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being together. These are the references.
Thank you very much, Lisa. I do apologize for making you shorter.
You're welcome.
But we, as a passionate designers, educators, sometimes we fall into our topic in the little sense of time. Therefore, I would like to kindly maybe amplify that each speaker has 10 minutes and keep it under. And now I would like to kindly ask my dear colleague, Professor Dr. Esther Ines, to present her paper under the theme Zero-Waste Fashion Design in the Industry, the Pearl as the Basic Capsule Collection. Today, Andrea started with zero waste. We are continuing this spirit. And now we can see some practical works in that manner. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrea.
Just keep this close.
Cheers.
Cheers.
When I was postdoctoral researcher at Leeds University, I created my own design capsule collection. It could be adaptable to fashion design industry because it's so important for us. Because grading techniques is too hard for zero waste fashion design. I would like to share my opinions about that, but sorry, that sounds perfect. Oops, perfect. That study introduced the Pearl. It's a basic capsule collection designed by zero waste fashion design principles. It will be industrial adaptability. It's inspired purity and the alluring allurance of the pearls. The collection showcases minimalist design lines. That is so important for me because of minimalist lines. It could be grading easily for the other size. It has 8 different adaptable looks, black and white. contrast the traditional zero-waste fashion design, this collection could be grading for 3 different sizes. And it could be used for fashion industry. It's so simple and it's not chaotic, and it has just simple patterns, block patterns. I would like to show you. And this study demonstrates the potential of the zero-waste fashion design, create commercially viable designs, thereby advancing sustainable practices within the fashion industry. Sorry. As we know, zero-waste fashion design is a unique technique, and it's so new and valuable sustainable design method, and that prevents waste became occurring. And today's fashion industry has a very huge cut and save waste problem in mass production. Only one garment produced 10% to 50% cut and sew waste. And this method, zero waste fashion design method, uses whole fabric, and at the end of the cutting process, there will be no cut and sew waste on the floor. Okay. So the pearl, it's the basic capsule collection. The aim of the collection is to suggest a timeless and basic and practical design method, production grading system for the mass production. Firstly, the design process, differently from, as we know, zero waste fashion design methodology, I start with drawing design, and then I decided to patterns on the dummy, measuring on the it on inside, and then I made cutting by calico fabrics, and then I made body fitting tests. And then I changed some simple difference. I applied differences. I improved those designs. And finally, I cut the main fabric. I used 2 different fabric. Why the pearl? The pearl is so simple, and it occurs at the end of the stressing pressure, and it's so simple, like my designs. It's shiny and has a poor structure like my fabrics, and this is the beginning of my collection. Also, the collection combines flowing and soft fabric, structured silhouette, and it has a minimal color palettes, black and white. Also, this collection has unique details. I used stretch fabric. The fabric consists of half viscose and elastic, and that makes it more adaptable for different size. However, it has a modern look. It has a timeless appearance. It can be worn by anyone, anytime, and anywhere, I think so. This collection is both stylish and responsible. The designs use one size model that can be fitted 3 different body sizes. Also, that reduced production returns and cut and sew waste. The flexible of fitting also makes garments more inclusive and sustainable. This is the first look of the technical drawing. The first look consists of 3 different parts, one poncho, one top, and trousers. This is the white one. It was comfortable because I used lots of elastic bands for belt line, waistline, and it can be worn by 3 different bodies. Also, the fabric was so elastic, it can be adaptable easily. I have preferred to use accessories, some kind of accessories like zipper or button, because that could be make the design more complexity. I would like to prefer comfortable. Here is the patterns of the first look. This is the second look. Second look also has 3 different body parts, waistcoat and top and shorts. White one of the second look, and the black one. Also, I have that photo shows at Leeds University garden. And here is the pattern prices of the second look. That shorts adapted from the first look's trousers. It is the same. And the third look, I used the kimonos, traditional kimonos, for my third look. And differently from the traditional kimonos, I use elastic mounts, backside, waistline. It makes more comfortable and more modern. It looks much more modern. And the top and asymmetric skirt. White look. And the black one. Here is the patterns of the third look. This is the final look, fourth look. It consists of two different parts, and a top and a skirt, a very simple A-line skirt. White look of the fourth look. And here is the black one. And the pattern line, 2 different parts consist on one pattern piece together. Also, I use some elastic lines on the belt line. It makes more comfortable for the wearer. So this study introduced the pearl, that is a bridge between the principles of zero waste fashion design and fashion industry production. This is so important for me. When I would like to discuss someone else who is designed for the fashion industry. Is it possible? Yes, zero waste fashion design is really sustainable, but we can't adapt it. Everyone thinks like that. But I just tried. Maybe it can be produced for someone else.
And it has purity and it's timeless, and it has a minimalist design, right? Thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So from theoretical, digital to actually practical, thank you so much for sharing your work. You are over in the live version in our gallery at the Faculty of Design. If you have time, you're kindly asked to do so. And now, last but not least, our dear colleague, PhD candidate Lucy Gordichova, with her paper named Virtual Reconstruction of Historical Garment and its Significance for Society. You're welcome.
Thank you. Hello, thank you. I will try to be short so we can go for lunch as soon as possible. So I will talk about historic clothing. So historical garments, as we know, they are very important for our culture, for the history, not because they were not just for protection, but they were very important part of social identity, religious affiliation, cultural values, and economic conditions. But as we know, the clothing, the historic clothing is usually made from natural materials, and they are falling apart. As old as they are very fragile, and the many of the garments, even they are maybe only 100 years old, but they are already so fragile that they are stored in the archive and depositories, and the public cannot see them, cannot look further what is inside, how they look, cannot look detailed, and they are hidden from public eyes. Or even older garments, some ancient garments that are preserved only in the form of photographs, paintings, and other historical records. So because of the nowadays technology, we have an option that we can make digital replicas of the historical garments, which is very important for the garment heritage preservation. So they are preserved also for the next generations. And we have a very plus side of this, and we have the improved accessibility, because in this way they can be accessible anytime to anyone. And we can also make the visualization the way that we can see what is inside. We can see the seam lines, because if you imagine in the museum, maybe even if there is the garment presented, it's behind the glass, you cannot see what is inside. You can see the example here as uniform, which is it is so fragile that it's stored in the archive of the Marble Museum. And you cannot see it if you go there. So we have different methods how we can do the virtual reconstruction. This, for example, the first one is 3D scanning with photogrammetry, which is very limited because clothing is very complex objects. Here I have a good example. This would be very easy to scan and to make the 3D model. Here is more simple. Here is example. This is a more simple piece of clothing. It's a historical gown, which is scanned. Then you get this file, if you imagine, in the computer, and there is still so much work that you fill the gaps and make a nice 3D model. This is very simple garment. If you imagine some dress with crinoline and corset from 19th century, it would be much more difficult. Then we have another approach if we have the garment and we can physically handle, then we can measure it and we can draw it in 2D in the computer. In the computer, we can make microscopic analysis of the materials, get all the materials property that we need for the 3D visualization. And then we have the third approach, especially for the garments that no longer exists. We maybe know them just for the painting, like in this case. and then he needs to study as many historical records as possible, and then recreate it this way. How this is like this is from China example. This code is even working. You can scan it. You can look how the 3D model looks. Usually the reconstruction is made by combining these methods. So we study the historical records. If we are lucky enough, we study the physical artifact, and then we combine these methods and we get the 3D model. So why is it significant for us as a society? We can preserve the fragile, damaged, or lost artifacts digitally. We can preserve them for the next generation. And this means increased public accessibility, increased accessibility for the students, for the education, for fashion students. They can, like if you imagine the 3D model, they can look into layers, they can see different patterns. It's source of inspiration, which is then linked to economic and social impact, so it can promote the traditional craft and inspire the modern design. So here I will shortly show you a few examples. Usually researchers are cooperating with the museums and the galleries, with the artifacts. Here is one nice example from Prague City Museum, where the researchers from the Prague Technological University make this virtual mirror. So you would come into the museum, and there was like this big screen, and as you see on the picture, they could try on the historical clothing. So the engagement with the history and with the historic clothing was here very much increased. Okay, and here is another example from Greece, where they make new designs that were inspired by by ancient Greek culture, and they made this virtual museum, which it looks kind of like a video game or something like virtual reality, and you browse these designs and click on it, and it shows you some pictures, some information, etc. And then very similar example from Spain, where they reconstruct each clothing that does not longer exist together in one collection, and they make this 3D virtual museum. That this was, for example, this was made in the program Blender. It's the same program. If you saw this year Oscars, the animated film Flow was made in the same program, which is for free, so you can see that the options are limitless. Here is an example from the Central Museum Utrecht, where they make virtual fashion collection, and they combine the historical clothing and the contemporary designs. And here from example from Florence, where they propose different solutions. Here are shown three, how the garments can be exhibited virtually, and here they even included the virtual catwalk in the actual physical museum. So there are still many challenges in the process, because it's very difficult process. Question of the authenticity, because at the end it depends on, of course, on the personal view of the researcher, how they interpret the history. And if we would want to be 100%, and like it's here, we would have to go back to check future direction. For sure, AI integration. I'm sure that this will help a lot. Then maybe these advanced sensor interfaces, which this already exists, the glasses, even some sensors that you can even feel the clothes, not just see, and the collaboration between institutes, the cloud collaboration, sharing all the knowledge and the 3D objects.
Thank you so much, Lucy. I just want to thank you. I think this is really quite important work that you do. Just my personal observation, because it's also from the corner of preserving cultural heritage. Because if we don't know where we are coming from, we're going to be definitely lost where we are going to. And with these words, I would like to conclude this amazing afternoon small session. And first of all, I would like to invite you to get some energy outside, and then later on, I would like to, within half an hour, we can meet here again and discuss. I think this is like the main thing, like where we get a little bit relaxed, everybody understands about their own presentation, how they're going to be speak. After all, this English is our second language for everyone. So everybody was great, and now we can get some food, and later on we can discuss about your work or something else. Thank you so much.